Hi, this is Cameron back again with another Vinyl Finds video. I apologize in advance that the video quality and the sound may not be quite as good as you're used to with my earlier videos, but the last few I've had to make on my laptop. As I said, we've renovated our living room where I used to have my PC computer. It's now moved up to the attic where my records are, which is a very dark and dingy room. So I'm not making videos from there. Instead, I'm making it on this laptop. I tried moving over the speaker and camera that I use with my PC over to this, but somehow it wasn't connecting properly or wasn't showing up with the same quality as it normally does. So I'm back to showing the laptop, using the laptop cheap camera and microphone. So today I'm going to do a Vinyl Finds video which is with about 40 different LPs. Half of them are $1 albums and half of them are free albums, so they work out to about 50 cents each. I got these at the local bargain bin at a couple of different record stores. I think there's one thrift find, and the free albums all came from the free bin at my local record store. So to get started with, I'm going to show a couple of bootlegs that I got for $1 each. First one is called Dragonfly Records Presents the Sound of the 60s, a musical documentary, number 5 in this series. And this is a bootleg from 1975 approximately, of Jackson Browne's music. It's called Jackson Browne X-rated bootleg. Unfortunately, it doesn't have any of the inner sleeve, what do you call it? Photographs or any of the internal pieces to identify it as a bootleg. It was just by the name of it, I was able to track down that it was a bootleg. Second bootleg. Also $1, or this might have been $2 actually. I have to take a look. My bill. It's called The Different Sounds of the Beady Gravel Apple Band. And let me show this. And that bootleg is from 1969 and features Beatles, Rolling Stone, and Bob Dylan. It too is missing all its liner notes or inner pieces. It's just the white cover with the LP. Okay, next up from 1981 is Pat Benatar, Precious Time. Don't mind listening to Pat Benatar occasionally. Then a band out of Alberta called Bully, and the album's called Bully to You, or Bully to Ya, and it's signed by the band. This came out in 1981 as well. And it's on House of Lords Records. I'll show you the label. Then I have a band called GNP Safety Zone, and these are guys from Saga. This album came out in 1988 or 1989, and it's prog rock. Haven't had a chance to listen to this yet. Then I have two Franco-Manitobans, so two French singing Manitobans from my province. Daniel Lavoie, Tension Attention. This is from 1983. The reason I got this is because he's the most well-known Francophone singer from my province. He later moved to Montreal, and I'm learning French right now, so I thought that it'd be good to listen to it, practice my French. Then from 1986, another Daniel Lavoie album. This one is called Vue sur la mer, so View on the Sea, 1986. A free album that I got is Patti Page's Greatest Hits, and it says that these were newly recorded, especially for this album. It came out in 1966 on Columbia. So it features some of her earlier songs that she sung on other labels. Sealed album, Dan Reed Network, Get to You. This came out in 1988, and it's sort of a funk rock from the United States. Next up, Mike Rutherford from Genesis, Acting Very Strange, 1982. This one I really enjoyed. It was a folk album from 1966 on Elektra label. Mark Spolstra, State of Mind. Thought this was in good shape for $1. A lot of liner notes in the back. It's pretty typical of Elektra during the mid-60s. Okay, another Canadian rock artist, Ian Thomas, and this album is called The Runner, and he's well known as brother of one of the guys in Bob and Doug McKenzie, the comedians from Canada. From Quebec, I haven't had a chance to look at if this is a prog rock. Sure looks like it. Le Temps, Montreal, 1975. The Long Hairs, so I assume that it's going to be prog rock. I don't recognize the names. Mixes acoustic with electric guitar. And it's on Parapluie, which is umbrella in French, Parapluie Records. Okay, I believe this is out of Germany. Croom Bakker. The album's called Incandescent on Word Records. I'm not sure if it's a religious album like most things on Word. It doesn't seem to have any songs that are pointing to it being a Christian album, but anyways. This is an album that Fat City Vinyl showed recently. I already have a copy, but this is a sealed copy from 1973 of Greenfield, Blue Sky. I believe it's a Canadian album out of the BC area, but I could stand to be corrected. Mark Allman, who came out of sort of a blues rock background, Other People's Rooms. This is a later album from 1978. Leo Sayer, a sealed album, and it's from 1978. So I got it because it's sealed. Helen Schneider with The Kick, Smuggled Out Alive. I don't know anything about this, but it was sealed, so I got it from 1983. Looks like it's sort of a metalish. Screaming Blue Messiahs, I Want to Be a Flintstone EP. This came out in 1988. Quite a popular song at the time in the alternative scene. Now some rock from the United States, 1970, Sea Train, self-titled. I believe that it was flute was a strong instrument in it. I already have this album, but it was a beautiful copy of the cover, so I may end up substituting the album into this cover, one that I already have. And then Marblehead Messenger, 1971. I already have this one too, but this definitely looks like a nicer cover than the one I have. Small Talk, 1981. It looks like it's rock. I didn't find anything about it. It looks, well, it came out in the States as well as Canada. It's probably American, but I didn't find out anything other than it's a rock album. Sniffing the Tears. This is their self-titled album from 1980. That too was sealed, as well as Small Talk. Okay, now getting out to my free albums. I got a whole mess of free albums. Lynn Anderson, Country from the Inside, 1978. Some folk. Bud and Travis in concert at the Santa Monica Civic Auditorium. This is in the early mid 60s. Billy Burnett. This is sort of a rock revival, 1980, self-titled. Some soft rock, Carpenters, Close to You. Some jazz. An artist who started in was born in 1905, was still going in the mid 70s and early 80s. This is Doc Cheatham and Sammy Price, Doc and Sammy on Sackville Records, 1976. And an album from 1983, so he was already 78 years old. Doc Cheatham and his New York Quartet, It's a Good Life. So he was from the first generation of recorded jazz artists. An A&M compilation, Family Portrait, 16 outstanding selections from A&M Records with Herb Alpert, Sandpipers, Wes Montgomery, Chris Montez, Tom Before, Liza Minnelli, Merry Go Round, Phil Oakes, Burke Bacharach, Claudine Longer, Antonio Carlos Jobim, Jimmy Rogers, Sergio Mendes, and Brazil 66, Baja Marimba Band, Tommy Boyce and Bobby Hart, and Herbie Mann. So that's on A&M Records. Some more free albums. Janice Ian, Miracle Row in 1977. It's got a gatefold. Chad Mitchell Trio at the Bitter End. Some folk. This is sort of a gospel religious album. Marge Osborne and Charles Chamberlain, Beyond the Sunset. I believe they're Canadian, but I may be wrong. Yeah, it looks like they're Canadian. Doing Dale Evans covers. That's the only artist I recognize that they cover. From the band War, Lee Oscar, Before the Rain. It's got shrink wrap, so that'll probably be a better copy than the one I already have. Certainly it's good when it's free. Page Kavanaugh Trio, Keyboard Kings from 1950, or probably from the early 50s. On MGM label. Remy Perrault, this is La Musique et les Mots, so music and words from, I believe, from Quebec on Medium Records. 1982. Looks like a folk artist. Some rock, radio, self-titled. Could be a little bit of funk in with it, or disco. Produced by Ray Parker Jr. So I'm not familiar with this artist at all. From 1978, radio. Willing to take a chance for free, of course. The Ward Brothers, Madness of It All from 1986. The Weavers from 1951. Folk Songs of America and Other Lands on Decca Records. 10-inch. Love the cover. Lots of liner notes on the back. And finally, the Michael Zager Band, Life's a Party. I think I didn't look it up, but I'm pretty certain that Michael Zager's from Canada. It's on Private Stock Records out of London, Ontario, I believe. So almost certain is a Canadian. Michael Zager Band. Could be wrong on that. Or is that London, England, rather than London, Ontario? Yeah, London, England. So probably an artist from UK. So I should have looked that up. I apologize. So that's it for my $1 and my free albums. Please leave your comments at the bottom. Look forward to hearing from you, and if you can enlighten me on any of these albums. And please subscribe. Have a good day. Bye-bye.